What is going on, everyone? We're back again with another review. In today's video, we're going to be talking about all the new stuff in the Diamond Dynasty feature premiere. Now, they mainly went over the Weekend Classic mode and the Diamond Quest mode, which are two new modes coming into Diamond Dynasty. And they're going to talk more about the live content and other stuff later in the coming weeks, as you'll see. But let's start with the Weekend Classic, because this is the first thing they gave us right here. And there's a lot to break down as well. So basically, how Weekend Classic works, pretty much at the end of a ranked season. So they said they're going to be around April 11th in the stream. So that's when this is all going to happen. So you want to get that rating up to get in these higher tiers. As you can see on the left side, there's like 8 tiers, I'm pretty sure. So there's a lot to play for here. You basically get placed in your division from whatever your rating is. Now, if you hit World Series and you're 1,000 rating up, you could basically be in this Immortal tier, which is the best one. And then the next strategy is you play 6 games. As you guys can see, there's games 1 through 6 on here. So if you go 6-0 in this Weekend Classic, you're able to get all these rewards. But then if you don't go 6-0, say you go 5-1, then you can only get the 5-win rewards. You can't get the 6-win anymore. It's a very interesting thing. It's kind of like a BR kind of 6-0 kind of feature, but you know, your actual ranked season squads and playing 9 innings. That's at least how I'm looking at it. And then after your 6 games up, you can continue to play to get on these leaderboard rewards. So we can see each win after you play your 7th game, you get a ball in as a habit pack for this tier. And then in the leaderboards, you know, there's rewards for all different, you know, spots on the leaderboard. They pretty much said how this works. You get placed with 100 other people in your own leaderboard, and then the top 10 finishers are going to get all these rewards at the bottom, as you can see, based on their placing and based off how much they won. So if you're a grinder, you can really grind and get the best rewards if you win all 6 games, and then you try to grind for that #1 leaderboard spot, which is pretty cool. And it's an extension of ranked seasons. So ranked seasons isn't going anywhere, right? If you win games in the 6 games of your leaderboards, you're going to gain rating or you're going to lose rating. And the matchmaking is pretty similar, just based off your ratings. So it's going to be pretty fun to have this additional add-on as well. And all the rewards are sellable, which is really cool as well. I like that a lot. So, you know, you don't have to like get all these rewards, and then if you don't want them, you can't sell them. You can sell them, which is nice. So Weekend Classic, I love the idea. I love the mode. I can't wait for it to come out first. But we got about 5 weeks till we even experience this mode in playing ranked seasons. As you guys did see, they do have that 91 overall Shohei Ohtani. They did say that he's the highest overall live series at a 91. So every other live series player will be under this or at 91, right? So it's very interesting because that means they might be a little bit cheaper on the collections maybe, but you never know, right? That's a very interesting notice that everyone made in the community, that he's the highest guy. I think they showed Judge. I'm pretty sure he was like a 90 or something. So you're still going to have these top guys, but the Dodgers collection is still going to be pretty expensive. Now, the next thing they talked about was Diamond Quest. And once again, shout out to Scan for kind of putting these all together for us. But this is what he says. Here's the rundown of Diamond Quest. He says the goal is basically to conquer the stadiums on the board. We can see that you got 2 stadiums on here on the board. So this is a board game, right? I mean, it's pretty similar to Conquest. That's what they basically kept saying. You want to get these stadiums, and you're going to roll this dice, and then, you know, however many, whatever you land on, if you get a 1 through 6 is a dice, right? So if you get 4, that's how many spots you're able to move. You can move 4 spots. So if you get a 1, you get a penalty. If you get a 6, you get a perk. As you can see, the perks are going to help you. The penalties are going to hurt you. And most of the perks and penalties only last 1 game. And see, there's 3 different events. You have pop-up moments, mini bosses, and showdowns, and then penalties you're going to get along your way. There's this thing called the coach's cart. You're able to use those peanuts for on the bottom, as you can see. All these different little events that are going to happen in this mode when you're actually playing it. And then you can earn the currency, which is going to be the peanuts to buy extra perks to help you. And then how this works, the board completes once you beat all the stadiums. So the devs kept saying you want to explore the whole stadium first before you complete the stadiums. And then in the stadiums, there's some guaranteed rewards. But if you play in higher difficulty, you can get like an epic card. So the example they showed was they had a Juan Soto in there, and they had an Aaron Judge. The Juan Soto you could get 100% by just completing the stadium challenge on any difficulty. But if you want a better shot at that Judge, you were going to have to play at a higher difficulty to guarantee you were able to get that card. I think they got him with like a 96% chance on veteran or something when they actually played it. So it's pretty cool, and the rewards are sellable. So I think it's an interesting mode. I like the concept of it. I like what they're doing. They did say this little ball right here, this little baseball with like the mean face. If you run into him and you beat him, you get a lot of rewards. And if you lose to him, they're going to get a lot of penalties. And basically, if you complete a stadium, like there's 2 stadiums in this little board we're seeing. If you complete a stadium, you can basically like exfil. That's like the best way to like really describe it. Is like you exfil with the rewards. But then if you lose in the stadium, you lose all the rewards. So that's something to keep in mind as well. It's going to be a very interesting mode, I think, when you play it out. I think the easier way to describe it is just playing it, to be honest. Because it's kind of hard to describe, I feel like, even though I've watched the whole thing. And it's very cool because these rewards are also sellable. So you can grind the same board a couple times and get those rewards if you want to keep getting those stubs. They said there's 1 tutorial board, which is pretty easy, and then there's 2 additional boards that are be in the Diamond Quest. And they said they're all randomized, so I don't know if you can like complete one and then you can randomize it again. I'm not really sure about that, but it's a very interesting game mode, and I'm very excited to see the rewards. I know in one of the ones they showed, they had like 2 diamond cards. cards, which is obviously nice to have. If the rewards are pretty good, I can see this mode being really solid. And it's another offline mode as well, so it's not online based. You can use your Diamond Dynasty squad throughout this mode, so it is pretty cool. When you play the 3-inning games, it all tracks for PXP and missions, which I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, really interesting mode to break it down. I actually think it's going to be one of the better ones if the rewards are pretty good. But we'll kind of just wait and see when that game comes out and we can actually get our hands on this mode. So this was something we saw in the stream earlier today when they were playing. He's got Mason Miller on the mound. His fastball goes 102 miles an hour, but he did have an outlier, and as we can see, it goes to 104. So it's actually pretty insane how high you can get these up. And then on top, I'm pretty sure he got perk on to increase his velo. So 104 is just insane to have. And I'm pretty sure this is offline only, so you don't have to worry about this online. But as we see in this clip, Mason Miller was able to reach this velocity because the run of the Diamond Quest got him a perk that boosts his velocity. Yeah, pretty crazy to think about. Now this was also spotted during the stream. We can see at first base Greenberg, right? So Hank Greenberg was spotted on the stream today. And these were his actual stats from when he played. He played in 1930 all the way up to 1947 with Detroit and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we can see some of the numbers right here. I mean, in 35 and in 37 and even in 40, he had some insane RBI numbers. And the guy almost had 200 RBIs in 1937, which is just insane to think about. And we can see his doubles were really impressive. His home runs were really impressive. All around, just a really solid player. And even his batting averages, like look, I mean, these batting averages are just insane. You don't really see these nowadays. So just a really impressive player, and he should definitely be a good legend in the game if we're seeing the numbers like this that he hit in real life. So this was something else we actually saw during the feature premiere. They actually played at Sutter Health Park, which is where the Oakland Athletic or Sacramento Athletics are going to play now. And it's not the exact stadium as you guys can see, but they definitely tried to implement it a little bit better than, you know, having just a minor league stadium. Scan says not the perfect recreation, but from what it looks like, it's technically the first real minor league stadium kind of added to MLB The Show. This is the actual Sutter Health Park. I know the image is pretty bad, but this is actually what it looks like. So we can see what it looks like in the game right here, and then we can kind of take a look and see what it looks like. We got some of the tree lines, we don't really have a berm out here in right field. There is that little block that we're seeing in left field over here, but I like that they tried. I'm glad it just wasn't like a minor league stadium they forced them to play at. So definitely a cool addition to the game as well. And that was pretty much it. Really talked about Weekend Classic and Diamond Quest a lot. They didn't really cover a lot of other things, but this is our weekly schedule, and as you guys can see, they're going to be streaming pretty much every day till this game launches. So this is definitely going to be exciting moving forward, and you know, we're going to be live for pretty much all of these things. I mean, starting off with the Monday, we got storylines, the reveal, and then we get the feature premiere for Team Affinity later in the day, and then we have the Legends reveal, which will be very exciting which Legends they're going to actually reveal to us. It'd be kind of unfortunate if it was the Hank Greenberg we just saw, but you never know. Then they have the Dev Tourney, which I personally don't like watching. I mean, some people like watching more gameplay, so they got the Dev Tourney live as well. And then on the 12th, we have the feature premiere for Multiplayer Program, which is something they haven't really shown yet, but they did say it's going to be combined into one. And then on the 13th, we have the feature premiere for the Innings program, which is what we saw throughout the feature premiere with the first inning program being back. And then we have early access, the countdown, and all that good stuff. So going to be a pretty exciting schedule moving forward. That was pretty much everything for Diamond Dynasty today. We'll be back on the Monday to see storylines and Team Affinity. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.